Yes, it's visible.
Okay, so as everybody knows, so Microsoft Fabric User Group Pune is where this session is being conducted. So this session is under the Microsoft Fabric Super User Group. Okay, so we are a community which has recently started. Okay, so we started in June only. I got the ownership of it. My name is Praful. I have 15 plus years of experience in IT industry and around 8 plus years of experience into BI and I would say data warehousing. Okay, so as part of this, there is certain code of conduct that we have to follow. Okay, we are taking these sessions free of cost. So yes, we abide by whatever Microsoft has provided to us. So we follow all the principles. These are the 5 principles that everybody has to follow. Okay, so the first principle is that welcoming and friendly. So we all come from different background, we all come from different I would say technology, we all come from different skill levels. Some are beginners, some are experts, some are at intermediate level. So we should always try to listen with purpose, and we should always try to understand that whatever the user is trying to say, maybe he's trying to say from his own point of view. Okay, next thing is we have to be patient. So we have to be patient to all the folks. Okay, be patient to what other is trying to say. Sometimes there are chances the other person is trying to say something, and maybe we are not able to get his opinion or his point of view. Okay, so that's one thing that we need to understand. Thoughtful, yes, be thoughtful of how your question is interpreted or how the other person is trying to do it. Respectful and inclusive, yes, we are an inclusive community, so this is something which Microsoft wants us to follow, so we will follow that. Be open and curious. As I said, we have just started, so we have taken a couple of basic sessions on the semantic models and storage. Now we are jumping to the advanced topics. So today's topic is one of the advanced topics on user data functions and write back functionality. Similar to that, we have some sessions on real-time intelligence, AI. Okay, so be open and curious, and if you have any feedback, you can always reach out to me, and we will try to implement these things. Okay, yeah. Moving on to the next part, these are all the detail slides. Yes, these are some of the behaviors which are kind of not accepted. Okay, so I'll just wait for a minute here, and then I will pass over the control to my colleague speaker Hardik. Okay, so these are the some of the guidelines that we have to follow. Okay, yes, so now I will pass over the control to Hardik. Hardik, can you hear me?
Yes, Praful.
Okay, yes, Hardik, you can share your screen and we can get started.
I hope screen is visible to everyone.
Yeah, it is visible.
Okay, so myself Hardik Shrivastava, and I'll be showcasing the one of the feature of Power BI and Fabric, where we can have the commentary and write back functionalities into our Power BI reports. So is it not a small thing, but it's let the people write down their thoughts or comments inside the Power BI report. So that's it all about the today's session, and let me start with this. So as we all know, like Power BI as a traditional reporting, where we show the insights, like what happened in the data, or what is happening in the data, but it is very remarkably bad in capturing the why condition, like why it is happening. So why our sales is above or below the target. So any one of the business users that want to share their thoughts about the data, the insights, we can't have it in the Power BI report. So we have to maintain the separate tracker kind of thing, or we have to maintain in the email threads. So basically, if anyone asks about where the explanation lies, that is in an email thread or Teams chat or in someone's trackers, right? So it is very hard to maintain it. There is also not a versioning of it, or there is no audit trails as well. So it is very hard to maintain. And bottom down, it is a separate thing that we have to maintain. So um, so by using a UDF and translytical and workflow, we can achieve where we can integrate our the write down functionality, write back functionality into Power BI reports, where under the one roof we can read our insight, we can also write our thoughts into the Power BI reports as well. So basically, the core idea, like how we will design it, what it does, it means. So everything. So right now I'm showing you the slide where our what is our idea. Like if user is selecting any grains, any dimension or any metric, so we need to enter a comment in a dynamic manner where we can enter the comment for reason only, or suppose we want to enter a comment for reason plus segment or sales, so we can enter it, right? So it should be in the dynamic nature. We should not maintain a single hard-coded commentary framework for our reports. So that will be the our basic idea, and this is what we are going to talk about, and we'll show you the demo on that as well. So coming to the next slide.
So,
So
just a question, Hardik. Maybe can we discuss a little bit about grain? Like, what exactly is a grain here?
yes, so basically grain is nothing but your dimension, like at which level we want to enter the comment. Suppose we are having the sales which is declining for some reason. Okay, so reason will be our grain. Suppose if for some reason and for some segment is sales is increasing, showing the increment month over a month. So and user want to add the comment at that grain, so we can achieve it. So grain is nothing but the combination of your dimensions plus facts plus your matrix. So that's what concludes the grain here. Okay. So is there any doubt or any questions to this? Let me know. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll
Thank
proceed
you.
with the next slide then.
Yes.
So, like we have the two approaches in today's time. Earlier, what happens traditionally, we create the Power BI report, we create the insights in the Power BI reports, and in that we can't write down our thoughts. We have to maintain, as we discussed, we have to maintain the separate things, right? So we were having the Power Apps. So where we the users create the Power Apps, the Canvas apps. It creates the data connection to Power Apps, and then we can create our own. Just think of the some application in your mobile phone. The same way we create in our Power Apps as well, where we can have this multiple screens, multiple forms built in the Power Apps itself, and where we can give the input to that, and we can enter the comment, and which will store in either in the Dataverse or in any of the database where we have the connections. Now, this was before the Fabric era. Now, coming into the Fabric era, Microsoft recently has launched lots of features to the Fabric, and one of them is the translytical flow and the UDF. So by coming into this Fabric, we have we have mitigate the complexities that we were having earlier. Now we can achieve the simple thing within the Fabric itself. We can write down. So basically, what is UDF? UDF is nothing but your reusable Python code segments. Okay, where we can have the Python functions in the UDF, and where we can call it from our Power BI reports. So this will help to achieve our workflows. So so uh, so so earlier we were using the Power Apps, right? So they were having its own limitations. So in Power Apps, it is like a separate segment, so we have to maintain the separate team of it, we have to maintain the separate support model of it. and then we have to create the release cycle of our apps. Then again, it is a cost also there associated with that, right? So we have to purchase licenses, then we have to purchase the premium connectors to it. So this was having the cost factor as well, and it was having the maintaining the power apps is itself is a biggest challenge for any of the team in the organization, right? So by coming the Fabric, it has, you know, reduced the costing, it has reduced the maintenance, because we can reuse that piece of code to the other semantic models or any of the areas that we want to use it. So basically UDF is not only associated with semantic model, but we can in the Microsoft we have different items where we can invoke that Python code. Okay, so now, like, basically what is actually user data function, you might be having the questions, right? So let's move to the next slide where so basically user data function, this is the user data function slide where we are discussing the user UDF. So basically UDF is a small Python function which is resides inside the Fabric. There is no app service, there is no container, no API gateway. You just write down your functions logic into it, and you just publish it, and you can call it from wherever you want to. So basically three things, right? Okay, it runs in your the same capacity. We don't have to create another capacity for it. So under the same roof you can create your own UDF, and data reaches to the managed connection. Suppose we have the Fabric SQL, or we have the Fabric warehouse, or we have the any managed SQL databases. Through that also we can create our functions connections. And again, so we have to type our parameters, and it will pass automatically to that UDF. So basically just think of a Python code. You're creating a Python code, Python function in your system, and you're creating the parameters to it, and then you are passing the parameters to it. So same way we are also creating the UDF also. So basically the difference is nothing but it's a small difference where in UDF we are just creating the functions. We are not writing down the Python notebook, or what, we are not creating any kind of thing. We are just creating the functions. Okay. So, and again, why it fits for our purpose. So basically it provides the functionality where we can have the dynamic logic created in the Python function. We can have we can create the dynamic grains logic in our Python code, and we can reuse it across the multiple things. Okay. So before moving forward to the next slide, I want to know, like, do you guys have any questions or any doubts? Please let me know.
Anyone has any questions on Fabric user data function? What is it?
Could you please just bit a repeat? Just join. Sorry.
Okay.
Maybe you can start with this slide, Hardik, like what is UDF, and then we can
Sure.
continue from here.
So so who guys have joined right now? So basically, we were discussing about the UDF. What is the UDF? Okay. So basically, UDF is nothing but the a small piece of Python function resides in the Fabric, where it is having no app services to stand up. We don't need to create any container. We don't need to have any API gateway. You just write down your Python function in it, and you just publish it. So basically just compare with your Python, the generic Python code we write down, right? We just so the same way we will be writing the function, we'll be writing the function, we will creating the parameters, and then we are passing the parameters to that function. So three things that is about this Fabric UDF Fabric is, like, it is resides in your the same capacity. We don't have to create another capacity for it. We can have the same Fabric capacity enabled, and under the same roof we can create our UDF as well. And how the data reaches to the Fabric UDF. So basically we need to create the connection parameters, we need to create the connection API in the UDF itself. We write down the small piece of code, And then we can have the managed connection with the UDF, and then we can pass the parameter to that UDF, and it will reflect your the parameters to the that function, and it will show you the result. So and why it fits for our write back function, or write back framework, right? So basically, as we know, like Python code, we uses the Python function in the UDF, so it is provide us the dynamic nature. We can create our own logic in the UDF, we can create our own function, different multiple function in the same UDF, and we can pass the parameters to it by invoking through the Power BI reports buttons, and then we can achieve the write back functionality. So in the upcoming slides, we are going to talk about more on this. So I hope this is clear for you guys, and so that we can proceed with the new slide. Next slide.
Okay, just to clarify, so for people who have joined late, so this session is about write back. So in Power BI, we do not have the write back capability. We can only read and show our data. But in case if we have any write back use case where we want to show the commentary, we want to update the data. So there are two options here. One is the Fabric user data function using translytical task flow or Power Apps. So today's demo is all about Fabric user data functions. Okay. Yeah. Apart from this, if you have any other queries on the previous slides, I have started the chat. We can discuss it in the chat. Okay. Yes. Thank you.
Okay. So proceeding with the next slide. So as we discussed about UDF, right? So UDF is not only about the write back functionality. Through that UDF, we can achieve multiple things, like we can call a pipeline activity, we can do the transformation validation through that UDF, or we can create a function, reusable function as a UDF, and we can invoke in our Python notebook in the Fabric itself, right? We don't have to create multiple function in Python notebooks. So earlier it was like we have to create functions in Python notebook, we have to create separate functions for each notebook, right? So by UDF, you just create a one UDF, and you can utilize it through your multiple notebooks, multiple areas. And then we have the triggers activities, where we receive data, and once we receive the data, if suppose user want to send in notification or something like that, we can achieve that through this UDF as well. And then the translytical flow, right? So this session is all about the translytical flow, where like we will create the one UDF user data function, and we will call it from our Power BI. We will invoke that function from Power BI, and we will pass the parameters so that we can have the write back functionality. And in translytical flow, it's not about the write back functionality, we have multiple things. Okay, it is not the only thing, we can have the multiple things as well. So in upcoming slide, I'll show you that as well. And for the UDF, okay, so for UDF, Microsoft recommends to use the SQL managed databases. So basically it supports the heavy handling, right? We can have the write and read and write functions in the SQL database. So UDF manage it very well, so it is why recommended by the Microsoft. Or if you don't want to use any other data sources outside the Microsoft Fabric, we can stick to the Fabric SQL databases, or Fabric warehouse, or Fabric lakehouse files as well. If your organization or if your project allowed to use other than this, like Databricks or some SQL databases, you can utilize that as well. So it's up to you. So moving to the next slide. So basically we discussed in the earlier.
Hardik, actually, I'm having one question. Yeah,
Yes, please.
like if we use Power Apps now, so after write back the data, the data which are writing back, that will go in the list in Power Apps, and we will connect that as a source to the to our Power BI report. So in Fabrics, the data, where the data will be stored, like how the data will be stored, and how we will connect that, means after writing in the Python so notebook, how that will.
Oh, okay. Okay, so your question, I can take it in upcoming slide. Okay, we have that dedicated slides for it, so I'll explain
Okay.
you in that. Is it fine?
Yeah, fine. Not an issue. Thank you.
So, like earlier, we discussed about the translytical task flow. Like, what is the translytical task flow? It's just basically it's a transactional plus analytical workflow where we serve the both, like read and write, instead of just embedding the second application like Power Apps into the Power BI. We can have it in the Power BI itself. We can create the same function in the Power BI itself. Sorry. So basically, it comprises of three things, okay, where the reports capture the user filters or user slicers or metric selections, and then function receives them as a parameters. So basically, this is how the parameters pass to the UDFs, and then it basically pass the parameters to the UDF and it acts, and then reports will reflect the results. So in between reflecting the result and passing the parameters, the storage lies. So storage will be either can your it can be your SQL Fabric lakehouse, or it can be your Fabric warehouse, or it can be your any of the databases, SQL based databases, so Databricks or Azure SQL, something like that. So where it will be storing your comments or any thoughts, whatever the functions, whatever the UDF you are passing, basically parameters you are passing to that UDF. So it will be stored in that SQL. So it is not only what we can automate is like, it is not only automate the adding data or editing data, whereas we can, apart from that, we can also delete our data, or we can call an external API through that UDF, like triggering something like approval, or we want some approvals, or we want some thoughts from the teams. So we can post to the teams by using the API, or we want to have some kind of notification to the users through the email or something like that, we can also achieve by using that. So you can, if you have experienced this in the Power Automate, okay, so same thing we can use it in our UDF by in a dynamic nature, and we can utilize in our Power BI reports. So this slide was basically what is the translytical task flow. So do you guys have any questions? So, or else we can move to the next slide, like what is it task flow and in the real time. Okay, so moving to the next slide, the real experience, like what we can achieve through this task flow. So basically it is not about the adding the comment write back functions, right? We can we can achieve this we can achieve uh, I mean to say API thing, right? We discussed the API thing. If we want to send a request to the team leads, we want to send approval for a team lead to the teams, right? So we can trigger a notification to the teams by using that UDF. Or suppose we want to edit some data in our databases, so through that UDF itself we can create the connection to the database and we can achieve it. And also we can use the external API, like suppose we want to generate some insights, AI insight from for our selected data. So by using the API of any of the LLM tools, suppose OpenAI or something else, we can use that API and we can trigger the function from the UDF itself, and it will generate the AI insight by selecting that slicer or any of the context. Okay, so this is the some of the examples of translytical task flow. So is there any questions, or we can move to the architecture of this write back function, so where we will discuss in details about the architecture of this write back function.
I think people have questions once we have the demo, so I think they'll get a fair bit of clarity as in what we are trying to do. So
Yeah.
maybe we can move there, and then if needed, we can come back to these slides again.
Yes, yes. So this is where we will be getting started creating the framework for our write back function. So basically, from left to right, you see from Power BI report to getting to the Databricks where the storage lies. So Power BI reports where we will be creating slicers, metric selections, we will be creating comment text box where we will be writing down our thoughts or any comments, and then saving it or inserting it to the UDF. And then if we want to have the delete option as well, we can create the delete option as well. And then coming to the Fabric user data function where our Python functions resides, right? Where we have created the upsert function, where we have created the delete function, where we have created many more functions related to our purpose, right? Where where our selections is getting passed as a parameter. And then we have the Databricks SQL API. So for this demo, I'm using the Databricks. So it is not like that you can't use any other sources. So as I told, we have to use SQL based databases. So I'm using Databricks. For your user use cases, you can use might use Fabric SQL databases or Warehouse or Azure SQL databases. Any of these or any SQL based databases, you can use it. Basically, why we are using it, we are using it to store our the records, that whatever the records we are passing, whatever the comments we are entering, whatever the thoughts we are entering, so it is getting stored into our SQL databases. So the storage is nothing but where our the database lies in, and where we are storing our things into tables. And on top of that, we are creating our views. So views is nothing but your final view, where you will be only a view is only created for the latest comment, the active comments. Okay. And that will be creating the connection to the Power BI also. So, and then the back arrow, the read back. So once we will create the connection with our final view to the Power BI connection, to the Power BI report, then we will have the latest comment available in our Power BI report. So there is two things while connecting to the Power BI report. So either you can create it using import mode as well, or you can create using direct query or direct click as well. For our case, I'm using direct query because I want the live connection. I want the comment to be reflected in the real time. I don't want to wait for the scheduled refresh, or I don't want to do the manual refresh. I don't want to trigger the refresh by my own. So if you for your use cases, you might can use import mode as well, but the drawback of that will be the refresh. You won't be having the real time comment. So that's why I'm using the direct query mode over here. And the second thing, in the bottom of the slide, you will see the why disconnected. Why I'm using the disconnected table of that comment. I'm not creating any relationship. I'm not creating any kind of relationship to any dimensions or any of the tables, because I want to keep my comment in the dynamic nature. So what is dynamic nature over here is, suppose user want, I'm using n permutation combination. I can have the multiple dimension and multiple metrics for my comment. So that's why I'm using disconnected table, and on top of that I am creating one latest comment measure for it. Okay. So you might be having the question like, why disconnected, why not relationship, we can't build it. So the answer to that question is, we can create the relationship as well. If you have the known permutation combination, suppose like for only two dimension table and one metric, you will be going to have the comment. Okay, then you can create the relationship because you already know about the requirement. You can create the relationship and you can directly pull the comment table or comment column from your table itself. So in that scenario, you don't need to create any latest comment measure for it. But to showcase the dynamic nature of this write back function, I am using the disconnected table. Ultimate choice is yours, like however you want to use in your use cases, you can use it. So, I mean, is there any question or any doubts? Please let me know about the architecture of write back function.
No.
Okay, so we will proceed with the next slide. So as we discuss about creating the UDF architecture, right? So what is the design principle? So everything Power BI sends, whatever this we are sending to the UDF, right? So it lies on the left side. It is the parameter that we are going to pass. And apart from this, we will be also passing the parameters of the dimensions. Suppose I have you need to create the parameter UDF parameter dimensions as well as a DEX function. Suppose you have city or region as a 2 dimension, so you need to create the selected value of that particular dimension, so that your UDF will get to know like for which grain you are entering the comment, right? So this is how, so this the left side which you are seeing right now, it's a the mandatory call mandatory DEX measure you need to create, so that UDF will understand like for which context of which grain you are creating the comment. And then the left hand side is the where the UDF will be resides, and the functions which will capture your source area, your grain, or your context, or your metric name, everything it will capture it. So where we will be having the functions like insert, upsert, update, or delete. Okay, so let's go to the one more level down, like into the storage. Okay, so next slide is about the storage layer. So this is the storage layer. So this the framework will be common for every storage, not only for Databricks. Suppose you are creating it for Fabric SQL, right, where you want to store these comments and everything. So in that also you have to create this basic tables and views for it. So basically the Power BI comment versions is nothing but your main table where each and every records will stores. It is like a historical or audit log for you. So every versions of each comment for each levels will be getting stored over here. And then on top of that, where our views will be lies, like if you want to use the latest so second column, so sorry, second row is nothing but your final view, where your view will be lies, where you will be connecting that view to the Power BI report. And rest two are nothing but for the audit logs, where you are creating a dashboard for this, where you want to have the audit log of your comments. You can create by using these two. So basically the table is nothing but the append only. So each records will be getting appended. We are not so suppose I am having the version 1 of the comment, okay, and I am inserting a new comment to it, I mean updating the same comment to it, okay. So it will create the version 2 instead of deleting this existing comment. So instead of deleting the existing comment, it will append a new comment with the version 2. Let me show you that as well.
Meanwhile, anyone has any questions?
Okay, you
One
can.
question is Azure functions also we have, no? But which
It's
just to
lies with, no, it is, we have that as a function, but it is outside the Fabric, right? So for that also we need to
okay.
create the subscription and resource group and everything. So that is a different scenario. But here we don't need to create any separate thing. It will be bundled in your Fabric license itself. You can create a number of UDF, right? And then
So
again it's mhm,
but we will need capacity only with the F2 with the minimum capacity also we can do this one.
correct.
Okay.
So if you're talking about the capacity, suppose you're having organization where you are having the one capacity which is shared across all other businesses. Suppose you are having the one capacity, and business A, business 2, business 3 all using that capacity, and that is we can use it specifically for our semantic models reporting purpose. And on top of that you can create the minimum capacity for your use cases for UDF or any other Fabric items that you want to use it. So that will be like your cost effectiveness, so where you can save some cost for it, right? So that's how it can also works. you don't want to create, if you don't want to create a F64 or F256 capacity, high end capacity, so you can use minimum capacity as well, like this.
Yeah. And
One more
just
thing
to,
is that in my
yeah,
organization, last question, all are using pro license only. So, but this feature is always being requested by like end users saying that I want to change an exchange rate or something. So that, so we always give away from SharePoint, and so yes. So, but again, the cost is like yeah, that is, even they are not using, they are not trying to go for the normal capacity also.
yeah. So let me answer that question, Subramaniam. So basically, Power BI will not be selling the premium capacity uh, here onwards. It's been a year they have stopped selling premium capacity. Since they gave the capacities to enterprises, so the commitment now is to support the existing premium capacities. Okay, but eventually after certain time all the premium capacities would be eventually moved to their equivalent Fabric capacities. Okay, so even if I'm using only Power BI reports and semantic models, we will still be needing the Fabric capacities. Okay, so the way Microsoft is envisioning this is that the Fabric capacity will be able to ingest the data for your workloads, for BI workloads. It will be able to create the reports and semantic models on top of it. And if needed, any other features like commentary, write back, analysis, visualizations, even the agent functionalities like chatbot functionality using Fabric Data Agent, they will all be covered under one capacity. So customer will pay for one capacity and he will get all the features. Okay, so
Okay,
premium
thank you.
capacity is provided in the existing client, but yeah, in the long run what will happen is even the premium capacities will be retired and customers will be asked to choose for Fabric capacity.
Okay, but pro nothing is available. No, that's
Yes, for now, as I said, as part of SOW, whatever SOW has been signed with the with between the customer and the Microsoft, they are abiding by it. Okay, but once the SOW gets over, once their licenses are over, they will have to move to the Fabric capacity. So there is no pro and premium. Sir, there is no premium capacity feature in Power BI now that you can buy directly now. Okay.
okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Prabal. So yeah, so I was showing you guys like how we are maintaining in the Power BI, sorry, in Databricks side. So like you can see, we have the metric names, we have the source area, we have the grains, we have the hash key. Like this key is nothing but your primary key for it. Then we are having the labels. Then we are having in the JSON format as well. We have the periods, we have the metric name, and then we are having the comment. And then you can see what the action type we are doing it. So if we are inserting for the first time, then it will be inserting. Then if we are updating it, then it will be updated. Then if you are deleting it, then it will be the deleted. And the same thing, we are maintaining the version. And if it is deleted, here it will show as the true, and if it is not, then it will be the active comment. And if you see in the latest views, I mean, if you want to see the how view looks like, so in view you will be seeing only the active comment. If you want to see the delete and everything for the audit, so you need to come back to your the another view where comment latest all will be there. So you can see, like earlier we were having 8 comments, right? So here now you can see 3 comments are there with the activeness, right? So you can see for each comment which is the latest version. Okay, so now coming back to slide. So this was about the storage side. Okay, now let's move to the next slide. So this is the user data function layer. Okay, so in UDF, So basically we need to create the functions. Okay, so for my purpose I have created upsert and delete as a main function. If you want to create separate function as an insert and then update and then delete, it's up to you. Okay, basically you can create n number of function inside one UDF. So the first is nothing but it will create the connection, it will create the table views and everything. Okay, and then second will be like upsert. If it is insert, then it will insert, and if you are doing some update to the existing comment, then it will update it. And the second, oh, sorry, the third is delete. Then it is the deleting of the current green, okay, of the current comment. And then the fourth one is nothing but to debug your existing measure, existing comment. If you found some bug in your comment thing, then through that you can, through this function you can debug your code actually. And the last is nothing but to test your Databricks connection or any SQL database connection. Okay, whether it is giving you 200 or if it is giving you any kind of error. So through that you can test your connection, whether your connection is up or not. Okay, so this was all about your architecture. Okay, so from next slide we will be going to talk about like the real scenario, like how the real scenario will looks like. Okay, so suppose we are having some sales report or we are having any of the reports that you have. Okay, so basically in the traditional reports we do the insights, we do the prediction, we do the descriptions of the data, and we maintain the reporting, the KPIs, slicers, metrics, and everything, right? So this is how your traditional report looks like. And as we discussed, right, where the explanation lies, it lies outside the Power BI reports, either in your email or either in your separate report or either in your separate tracker Excel sheet and anywhere. So so through this write back function we can integrate into one, right? How we will integrate it. So this is the basic layout of your structure. It will, how it will look like. I have created a matrix, I have created the slicers. You can create n number of slicers of your choices. And again it and we have the enter comment text box where the user will be feeding the comment from the report itself. And then I have the save and delete option as well. Suppose user is entering for the first time, then save button will be getting activated. And if it is the existing comment, then user, the delete option will be there and user can delete it. So so let's go to the live demo for it. Okay, I hope you are able to see my screen. So basically this is the UDF. Okay, so I have created one UDF under the Fabric capacity. The same way you can create it also. Okay, where you can see in the left hand side we have created these sorry, we have created these functions. Okay, so you can see like it is this same way where you create a Python script. So same way in UDF also we create the same functions for each of task. And then in the report side we will be having this the traditional reporting. And then we have created this one comment page where user can create its user can add their own comments. Okay, so you can see this, the current comment green. Okay, so I'm right now at this level of the green, and I'm going to add comment on this level of green. Okay, suppose I want to add for the technology, let's say. Okay, so I can see this, the sales of this technology is the highest, right? So I'll type it down, the highest sales among all category. Okay, I'll put enter, and then you can see like my buttons got activated. Okay, and I'll enter it, and in the backend it will take a few seconds, like 2 to 5 seconds to invoke the function. And in the real time, my like these are the parameters. Okay, so these are the parameters which will be getting passed to my UDF, and it will enter into UDF, and then it will store the data over there. So you can see like request got submitted. So I'll see the same thing in my comment as well. So you see, like now new comment is got entered, right? Earlier it was 3, now it is 4. So you can see, right, the total profit. This is what I entered the comment. And if you see the version, it is the latest comment and the timestamp which at which I have created. So whatever the context for I have entered the comment, it is getting stored over there. Here you can see the green level, or for which green I have entered the comment. So for each record you can maintain this, and the same in the real time it will be getting reflected over here. You can see, like for this I have entered this comment, okay, and I have created one more measure for it, like for which you who is entering the comment. Okay, suppose I have entered the comment. Okay, someone else from my team comes in and he enters the comment, right? He is overwriting the basically this existing comment. So the same user can enter the same way the comment, and then they will enter the hit this invoke this function, and this will get be updated. Suppose I'm updating this comment as sales, I'm just typing it like updated. You can put something meaningful. So it will invoke the function. So I'm entering, if you notice, like I have entered the same button, right? So it will upsert, it will do the update function. Okay, so let me put it again. So you can see, like still the 4 rows, right? So what happens here, you can see the existing comment got updated with the version 2. We are not maintaining the version 1 now. We are just pulling the latest version of my existing comment for the existing grain. Okay. And now suppose I want to and you might be having the question, you have selected this region, this region. What if I'll select the another region? Let's say the east region. Okay. So for east region, the reports loads get report is getting loaded. So you can see the comment is gone, right? The reason is that I have not entered the comment for east region, right? I have entered for all region. So suppose I want to add comment for now east region, I can do the same way. It will not override my the existing comment. Okay. Now suppose I want to delete this comment, the existing comment. I'll select this row, I'll hit the delete button, and it will get deleted. So as I mentioned, it will be like soft delete. It will be not getting deleted completely from my table. So from view, you will see just 3 rows. See, we are getting now 3 rows only. So where my that delete comment gone, right? If you want to audit it, you can go to your table and you can see over here. See, you can see like delete, it delete has happened, right? This version is 3, and if you see this column, it gone deleted, right? So in view, it won't be getting deflected. So that's how you can achieve it in multiple ways. If you want to add for multiple metrics as well, suppose total health plus total margin, let's say, you can add it as well. Okay, so I want to add it for this version, highest profit margin. I'll enter it, I'll save it, the comment will get reflected over here. Request got submitted. I'll go to my Databricks to verify. I'll get new comment over there. You can see highest profit margin with the version number, right? So this is how you can achieve it. So here also you can see it. So this is how commentary write back functionality will work. This is how it will looks like. So basically it is user to user, I mean, uh, requirement to requirement basis, you can do the changes. You don't want to pull the measure. So I have, for this I have created the measures. Okay, you can see I have created the measure. So if you don't want to create the measure, you can just pull directly from your comment table instead of pulling from this. Okay, so this is how it will looks like. Now coming back to deck.
Let's wait for a minute. Anyone has any question on the write back demo? So
Uh,
this completely runs in Fabric. Okay, yeah, Dinesh, you can go ahead.
Yeah, like means how to create this comment box. Like I'm having two, three questions. So first
Sure,
one
sure.
is that how to create this comment box. Means in what I do, what we do is like if you're using a Power Apps now, we will create this comment box in the Power Apps, and we will directly give the connection in the Power BI. So it will be visible there, like if you use the Power Apps. So if you're using the Fabrics, this will be seen in our report, means how we will able to achieve this. And second question is like all the data which we seen, it is storing in the Databricks. So who means where the data will be saved, like first before it's go to the Databricks, like we have to pull this data from the source to the Databricks in the silver or gold layer, like.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
so where the data will be stored, and we require the ETL developer to pull that data in the gold layer. Then we have to take that data as a direct query and give connection to the Power BI to show this in the live data. Is it right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so your first question, like how we'll be creating the page, I mean, how we'll be creating this box. Okay, so in Power BI, we have the existing slicer for it. You can see the input slicer is there, right? So you can use this input slicer. You just give a name. I have entered it as a enter comment, and these are nothing but your buttons. Okay, so we are binding our UDF to this button. Okay, so if you see, if I'll click on this button, I'll go to this properties, and in action you can see we have the type. Under type you will see the all these types are available, and the data function. So you need to select the data function over there, and you go to the function catalog. So once you go to this function catalog, you can see your the UDF is available. Okay, so for under this I'm using it for upsert. So I'll select the upsert and then I'll connect it. So this is how you will connect through the UDF. I have so you can create n number of functions and n number of buttons, and you can bind it. This is how you can bind it. And then you need to pass the parameters over here. Okay, you need to pass the source area, green key, then the comment box. Okay, so you need to pass the comment, enter comment over here, then green label. So basically, I had this action just refreshed my this parameters actually, so I'll not save it. So you need to go to each function, and then you need to select for which you have created. So like I have created the GSN context, right? So you can select it and you can enter it. So this is how you will map your parameters over here. You will map the data function over here, and then it is ready to go. Okay, so this is how you will be creating your parameters binding to these buttons, and this is how you'll be creating the comment box. Now coming back to your second question, like how we'll be storing your comments over the storage. So coming to the database side, so I have created this table. Okay, this will act as a raw layer for me. So this is my raw data, where raw tables, where my all raw data lies in. And on this can be your I mean your bronze layer or your silver layer. Okay, and on top of that you will be creating your transformation. So you want the polished version of your comments, your so basically this will be my gold layer. So where it will be consumption, where we will be using for user consumption, business consumption, right? So I have created the view on top of this table. You can create the same way, you can create the same way
Sorry
in
for
your gold
interrupting.
layer.
Like we are unable to see the screen. Like we are only seeing this one Power BI screen only,
Okay, okay, sorry.
workspace screen. Yeah.
I hope you are able to see it, right?
Yes. No.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically I was telling about this table. Okay, so this table is nothing but your raw table where your whole comments will be getting lies in. So if you see in the parameters, so we are passing the table parameters. So if you see, I'm passing the tables over here. Okay, and then inside table I'm passing the SQL statement as well. Okay,
Okay.
so you can see here we are passing it. So whenever the user is entering your comment, so this action will invoke whenever I'll be saving it, or whenever I'll be deleting it. So these functions will get invoked, and these functions will helps you in to entering the comments directly into your Databricks. So this is your like first ETL, first step of ETL, where you are entering your data from Power BI to the Databricks. This is how the
Okay.
connection is made. Okay, so this will be your raw table. Okay, you either you can say it a bronze layer or your silver layer, and then on top of that we are creating the views, nothing else. If your use case is something else, you can create your own for your own purpose, but for final consumption we will be creating this view, and this view will looks like this. You can polish for your own purpose. I have pulled everything for now, but you can pull whatever the things are relevant to you. And this is this table where we are connecting, we are creating the connection to our Power BI reports as well. So this table is nothing but your connected with your this view basically. And I've pulled everything. It's basically your use case, how you want to utilize it. You can use it like that. So I
So,
hope I've answered your question.
yeah, just one thing, like after entering means we means after entering the query,
Mhm.
the SQL query will generate the comments, right? So after that, comments are
Yes.
getting generated where it is stored before it's going to the Databricks.
So it does not store anything in the intermediate layer, Dinesh, to answer your
Okay,
question. What
okay,
happens is once you click on this save button, the function is
okay,
called. So
okay,
whatever row Hardik had selected in the left hand side matrix, those
okay,
values are shown in the current context in the topmost area, right? Source equals to
okay,
superstore, time level equals to fiscal year. So these values are passed to that user defined function or user data
okay,
function. So basically
okay,
user data function will not store anything. It's a execution or compute mechanism. Okay, just to
okay,
answer everybody. So these values are taken, the user data function is executed, and whatever your target is or whatever you have written the destination, it will write to that destination. So for example, if I select furniture row and if I select anything, so it will take category as furniture, source as data store, level as year, okay, metric as profit margin, and then it will enter the comment against it. So based on your use case, these things can change, and you can write at one row level. If you want to write against the entire table, you can do that. If you want to write against the entire semantic model, you can do that. So all the ways are possible. Okay.
So
yeah, okay,
basically, it is nothing but the thing, it is called as a translytical workflow, right? So this is the workflow. If you think about the Power Automate, right? This is how Power Automate is also works. It basically triggers the function, then it will capture this, capture your grains, and it will, and then insert to your Databricks. The same thing we are doing it using the UDF in Fabric itself. We are not using any Power Automate, or we are not using any Power Apps. We are just capturing it, and it will flow to your Databricks directly. It will be, there is no intermediate storage. It's just a final Databricks or any SQL based database.
Correct. And just to add to that point, if you buy a Power Apps license, let's say I have a requirement for writing the data and I don't go with this approach and I go with Power Apps plus Power Automate approach. So just to discuss it, approximately a Power Apps license will cost you around 1800 INR per user per month, and a Power Automate license will cost you around 1400 per user per month. So close to 3200 per user per month is what you end up paying if you go by the Power App plus Power Automate uh, license, Power Apps plus Power Automate approach. But if I spend the same amount to buy a Fabric capacity, the same Fabric capacity can work for report. It can also work for semantic model, and it can also work for data agent. And at the same time, you can do this write back also. So one capacity for all is what any architecture or any architect would recommend it to. Okay.
yes,
Okay, so Let's move to the next slides. Also, this piece of codes, what we are discussing, right? So it is not just for my use cases, so I can use it for across the multiple pages, right? I mean multiple reports or multiple semantic models. So
So what
basic.
that means is, just sorry to cut you off. So what that means is, let's say I have the same set of semantic model structure for another report, then I can simply plug the same user data function and write commentary for it. So this is how the use cases works in the real life. So I have a semantic model which is a star schema, and inside that I for using that I have created 15 reports, and all those 15 reports have different KPIs, and everyone wants to comment against their KPIs for every month, every quarter, every year. So the same logic can be reused again and again. So reusability wise, it would also give you a good effort reduction. Yeah, please continue.
Yeah, so basically it will so in this slide you can see, like I have entered, we have entered for the multiple scenarios, right? We can have it for region only, we can have it for region plus segment only, or we can have for the n permutation in combinations, right? So this is how, like, one key, and for any of the level you can enter the commit basically. So that's what we discuss it. So let's move to the next slide. So in the semantic model layer, like what we have to do, okay, like we will discuss some the key things about the creation of this whole framework, okay. So basic four things we have to create, okay, the four groups of measures that we need to create: the parameters that UDF parameters that will be feeding to the function, one per arguments, right? And then green and the context where the works happens, like suppose a key sets detects whatever the context for which we are entering the comment. So for that we need to create measure for green and for each context. So the primary thing, the text syntax will be is in scope and is filtered, okay. And then this the third thing, the guardrails or validation. So suppose you have created the framework and you want to validate it, so obviously we will be going to validate it so before rolling out. So these validation measures will help you to detect any of the bugs if you are having in your code or anywhere in your reports, right? So through that you can validate. And again, the last of the key thing, the readback. So for my purpose, for my project, I have created in the dynamic nature, right? I have created the measure for my comment, for the latest comment, okay, for because of obviously for the dynamic nature. For your use case, you might be having n not having the n number of permutation combination, you are having suppose two dimension and one fact table. So, since you know, like you have this combination, so you, instead of creating the comment measure, you can directly pull from your comment table itself, okay. And apart from that, you can create helper and cider measures amount for your comment. Either it can be your comment count, like this user has entered this much of comment to this category, like this you can also create it. So putting so you will put this all together and you will have the your framework ready in your Power BI. And now this is something which we already seen in our Power BI demo before, right? So this is how you can design it. This is not necessary like you need a matrix, okay. Either you can create your own KPI card also, or you can create your simple table as well. So basically we can so basically either you can use metrics, either you can use KPI card, or you can use your table as well. So these are the key visual where you can show your comment thing to your metrics, right? And you can have the filters, slicer selections available to your users. And then the last thing will be your comment panel, where you will be allowing user to enter their thoughts or comments. and then saving it and deleting it, right? So these are the key things that will design your report page. Now moving to the versioning control, right? So we already seen like v1, v2, v3, v4, right? We already seen like how insert will work, how will be entering the first time comment, right? And then suppose user comes in, another user comes in and updating that comment, so it will create the version 2. And then suppose it has having some spelling mistake, or suppose that comment got old, okay, it is now no relevant to that particular metric or particular dimension, so we can use a delete option and it will delete it as a v3 version. And then suppose user comes again to enter a comment for the same grain that you have deleted earlier, right, for v3. So it will create the v4 instead of creating v1, it will create the v4, because we are reactivating the thread, we are not creating a new grain, right? We are entering the comment for the same grain that we have entered the comment earlier, right? So this is how it will works. Now coming to the next slide. So this is basically the security notes to the governance side, like how we will be controlling our UDF and Power BI reports, right? So there might be the questions, either we are creating any leak of PII, basically personal information, right? We should not be leaking any PII, or we are not doing any hard coded credentials, or we need to create it in a access controlled manner, right? So for these things, for key, like for credential or storing any key or token, right, we can use Azure Key Vault and we can tag it to here, or we can create an config YML file secured in our lakehouse or warehouse, and through that also we can create our we can connect to the UDF as a secured path. And also in a controlled manner, like if it is there any RLS, so we can use the RLS based schema in our Power BI as well, so it will respect the RLS as well. And so these are the key things that we need to keep in our mind while rolling out to the production, right? So these are the key things for production grade enterprise levels. So now coming to the slide, like so we know, like we created UDF, we have created the Power BI report. So basically this is the one framework, we, as we already know, like we discussed in previous slides and previous demos, we have created this UDF. So this UDF is not only for my semantic model or my single report, I can use it to the multiple semantic models. Suppose another business unit want to use my UDF, so they can use it by just pulling that my function to their semantic model, and then they can utilize it. So the same thing, like I can use it for sales performance or any shipping fulfillment report, or any forecast or actuals reports, or any planning or category reports, or anything, n number of reports I can use it. So this is how it will work for my semantic models. So this was the thing. We have come to the end of this demo and session. So I'll open this now for any questions, any doubts, or any feedback you have. So please, you can share it.
Yeah, Hardik, one question here. We need to see, it means like in Databricks, like what we can say for refresh. So if in our Databricks is like the refresh will be worked in once in a 24 hours. So is that any concerning issue to get the data live on the reports?
No, data refresh. I didn't get your point.
Means in our Databricks now, suppose our files will go to the Databricks like in whichever layer, like bronze, silver, and gold layer,
Mhm.
like, and
Okay,
that we will that we will get as a source in our Power BI to show that
correct.
commit. Yeah, but our Databricks is getting refreshed once in a 24 hours.
So
So
see, okay, I got your point. So whatever the parameters we pass to the UDF, okay, it captured all the comments and all the context, okay, and it will insert into my my Databricks site, right? The Databricks will get updated through that UDF automatically. It doesn't require any refresh in the Databricks side. So once we have inserted our comments to the Databricks, we are good to go. Now we will be creating the connection between Power BI report and Databricks. So it's up to you. Like if you want the direct query mode, you can create it the direct query mode. So it will reflect the real time comments, right? So you don't need to wait for semantic model to refresh to show your latest comment. But if your use case is about using the import mode of connection, so if you are using the import mode, you can also view the comment, but it will be based on your refresh. Either you have to trigger your refresh by your own, or if it is scheduled, you have to wait for the scheduled refresh. So basically it's up to you. Like if you want the direct query, it will be in the real time. If you are using the import, then you need to wait for your refresh, obviously.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Got it. Means we have to use the direct query mode to get the live
Correct.
data. Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
Yes. Thank
So just to add to what Hardik is saying, so in short, Dinesh, you need to create a composite model. Okay. So whatever tables that you use on a daily basis, if you want them, you can load them in import mode. Whereas this table where your commentary or write back data is stored, that will be in the direct query mode. So that is how your model structure will be, a composite one. Some
you.
tables
Yeah.
in
Okay.
direct query,
Got it.
some tables in import mode.
Yes. Got it. Thank you.
Yes. Anyone has any other questions? So Hardik has already shared this link, as you can see in the, I would say in the presentation. But the same link I have also shared in the chat group. So if you see, there is a Medium article written by Hardik. Okay, so you can also go through it. Okay, and you can kind of try to reach out to him. I think the LinkedIn link is also mentioned in the blog, Hardik, right? So people can reach
Yeah.
out to you from there also. Yes. So if people want to kind of reach out to Hardik for this, they can reach out to him, and then he can take up any other questions that you have. Okay. Yes. Anyone else has any other question on this? Okay. Yes. So
Database is needed to understand this all.
sorry.
No, I'm saying that you need to know Databricks, no, for this all.
No, see, the point is we are providing a framework. So as part of this framework, he suggested that we create 4 tables and then we manage it, right? So as he said in the initial phase of his presentation, if we want, we can use a Fabric Lakehouse, we can use a Fabric Warehouse. If needed, we can also use Azure SQL Server. So any database or system which supports SQL can be used here. Okay, especially the cloud
Okay.
ones.
Okay, so now I have a database, but to insert update, we have their APIs. So we can integrate that way, that
Yeah,
like example. Okay.
yes, I think Hardik can answer also that. Hardik can confirm on this. But as far as user
Mm,
data function is considered, one of the use cases that Hardik mentioned is we can call APIs also.
correct.
So it's a Python based code, Subramaniam. So I can use it, leverage it to do different things. But yeah, API call is also possible. So you will select a row in your Power BI table. You will call the API. API will update the data for you.
Okay.
Okay, it's a new feature. I would say it's a, I think, a year-old feature, but it's a very good feature for business users because write back was one of the thing which was not there in Power BI report and it was pending from a very long time. So now people can see their report and they can also provide their own analysis to this. Okay, and one more thing to add here, we can also do row level security on this, guys. Okay, so I can do the row level security saying my comment should be visible to me only, my comment should be visible to my team, my comment should be visible to certain set of executives. All those type of things are also possible.
This.
Yes.
So basically, this UDF is not only for this workflow, right? So we can call any API, or we want to do any other task as well. So we can achieve it. So it's not basically with the Power BI itself. Through any of the Fabric items, we can use it. So if suppose if you are using the data agent, okay, so in that data agent also you can utilize this UDFs also. So basically, it's depend on the use cases to use cases.
Yes. Okay, Hardik, can you, if there are no questions for Hardik, Hardik, maybe you can stop sharing. Yes, so this was it for today's session, guys. So as I said, I have shared Hardik's Medium blog link in the chat. You can go through it. I have also recorded this session. Okay, so I'll be uploading the recording of this session on the Fabric User Pune group channel by today or max by tomorrow. So people who have missed the initial part of the session, they can go through that recording. Okay, so that is what it is all about. Coming to the next part, so as part of this community, I've got a request from multiple users to connect or I would say conduct their session. So next week on 9th, we have another session on Fabric T-SQL. So people who are new to Fabric data warehouse in Microsoft Fabric, how we can use it to transform the SQL. So that is the next session that we have planned for next week, and it will be taken by Rajendra Ongole. Rajendra Ongole is a Microsoft MVP. Okay, so he will be taking the next session. And similar to that, there are certain sessions which will be planned in the August month as well as the September month. So in the next session post to that is on real time intelligence. So that will be taken by an onshore person. So usually that will be in the evening. But yeah, that's one of the sessions that we have. So from here onwards till November, we have the sessions planned. So you can join our Fabric community on Microsoft Fabric User Group, or you can join our Meetup group, or you can join our WhatsApp group. All the three links I have shared in my chat session. Okay. Yes. Okay, so thank you so much for joining in for our session, and looking forward to your participation in the next session. So we'll be trying to bring different audiences from offshore as well as onshore to cover different topics, really interesting topics, and some hot updates on our Microsoft Power BI and Fabric. Okay, so thank you so much for joining today's session. Have a good day. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.